Hi, how you doing, and welcome back to a video on the channel. What we have for you today is our preview video going into Game Week 4. The international break is coming to an end and we are recording this video on Tuesday night. So if any injuries do affect our team moving forward as a result of the games tonight, I will put any changes in the comments moving forward. If you are new to this channel, please do like and subscribe. I also wanted to say a huge thank you to anyone who is subscribed, because over the international break we did cross through the 200 subscriber barrier, which might not seem like much, but it's a huge achievement for us as we are a small channel trying to grow, and it's not something that I take for granted. I do genuinely really appreciate it, and every subscriber, it does make a huge difference, so thank you for that. And if you do want to stay in contact with all of the content on the channel, just subscribe and you'll be able to do that really easily. So let's take a look at the team from Game Week 3. And if you did watch our previous video when we were talking about potential transfers, we did touch on how the team did, but we'll do a quick recap now. And we captained Haaland, which was great because he scored a consecutive hat-trick, and Chris Wood and Isak also got returns and bonuses, which was much needed because we didn't really get too much from the rest of the team. The biggest disappointment was Mykolenko not keeping that clean sheet. It was looking great for 87 minutes, then Everton imploded and it left me looking like I should have put Leif Davis in my team, whereas at the time it looks like a lot of small margins, and it was a great example of the outcome and the decision not really matching up, because just because the outcome didn't result in what you wanted it to doesn't mean that the decision was bad in the first place, because for a large part of that game Mykolenko looked like a great option because Everton were keeping a clean sheet and Ipswich also weren't keeping a clean sheet, but Leif Davis got an assist. And maybe it just means that I've got to pay a bit more attention, because we did bring in Leif Davis for when Ipswich's fixtures turned. We put him in the starting lineup, so maybe we need to do that sooner rather than later. Overall, the rank is brilliant. 75k at any stage of the season is fantastic. We did have a red arrow from 23k to 75k, but I am not complaining at all. For Game Week 3, that's a great rank, but everything is so close together, and there's 35 weeks still to play, so I'm fully bracing myself for a red arrow this game week, just because there's more FPL managers that are ranked lower than me than there are above me, so the law of averages states that I probably will go down in rank again. But absolutely we want to try and hang on into the top 100k for as long as possible, maybe even get a green arrow, which would be an incredible achievement in Game Week 4. So the fixtures are looking really good, and Saturday is jam-packed with fixtures. And in terms of captaincy, I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel here. It's Salah or Haaland, and anyone who says they're not captaining either of those is maybe telling you porky pies, because I can't see how you would captain someone other than Salah if you own Salah, or Haaland if you own Haaland. I think if you own both of them, I would still captain Haaland, just because he's in that goal scoring form and he is absolutely nailed on at the moment. There is no reason why he would get rotated. Whereas Liverpool, they do have competition for places. Even if Salah does look like he is nailed on, there is still that potential risk. So it's not a reason to not have Salah, but if you had both and you were wondering which one to captain, that's why I would go with Haaland. So my team for this game week, and before I get it on the screen, I have actually made a couple of transfers. I'm saving one transfer which we'll talk about in a second, but the two transfers I have made is Eze and Watkins in, and Son and Chris Wood out. And the reason I decided that Son should go out is because typically I just don't like owning Spurs players that much, to be honest. Whenever I own Spurs players and I need them to score points, it's just stressful. I just feel like they don't score as much as you need them to. And having said that, Son could easily score against Arsenal, but I'm willing to take the risk. And the upside of taking this risk is that I could get in Watkins as well. We always say on the channel, good fixtures creates good form, and then good form turns bad fixtures good. And Watkins has really good fixtures. And it's nothing personal against Chris Wood, because, you might be thinking, well, Chris Wood's just got 2 goals in 3 games. Why are you taking him out? And that was always the plan. I feel like Chris Wood is the sort of player who scores in bunches, and him getting 2 goals in his first 3 game weeks doesn't surprise me. That's why I had him in at the start. But now is the time of knowing when to jump off certain players, and I just feel like Chris Wood, whilst the mid to long term his fixtures look good, he's just not someone who's going to score you 20 goals a season. And Watkins does have that huge upside. And worst case scenario is Watkins just doesn't score in these 3 fixtures, no matter how good they are. So I sell him to someone cheaper, but the upside is he does score and then he continues that form for the next part of the season. There are question marks about Villa and the Champions League and where they're going to go with that and what the lineups are going to look like regarding the league and the Champions League. But until that sort of happens and we have a bit more information on it, I'm happy to take the risk. And Eze was really unlucky in his first 3 game weeks. He definitely should have had more attacking returns, and I'm amazed that both of them really have gone down in price. I kind of get it with Watkins a bit more, but with Eze, I was amazed that he, has dropped in value, which has really allowed me to get him in. Now, the transfer that I am still thinking of making is that Gordon to Diaz transfer. But the longer I'm leaving it, the more I'm thinking, I don't really want to make that transfer, because Diaz is playing in South America in the internationals, and he's going to come back. Liverpool are playing on Saturday, and I just think I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool rotate and Gakpo starts and Nunez starts and probably Salah starts. And Jota and Diaz, they maybe have a rest this time around. Maybe Chiesa gets a start instead. He's had a couple of extra weeks to bed into Liverpool and the system and everything like that in training. So I'm a bit reluctant to bring in Diaz, and I'm more willing to wait until the deadline. And if I'm not sure that Diaz is going to start, I'll probably just leave it and go into Game Week 5 with 2 transfers, because I think Gordon playing Wolves away is a pretty good fixture on its own. So it's not like I'm, say the Chris Wood fixture with Liverpool. That's a bad fixture for Chris Wood, so that makes it more obvious to transfer him out. Gordon's playing a good team, so as long as there's no injuries for him on England duty tonight, I'll probably just keep him in the team. And I noticed on FPL that there are 24 million transfers that have been made already in the international break, which to me is absolutely wild. Like, no wonder my prices of my players are going up and down so much. It's because of all the transfers that have been made. So if you do have any transfer questions, let me know in the comments, because we do always get back to you. And, if you've got any, thoughts on my own team of how I could improve, maybe I'm not even seeing the right transfer. I'm thinking of going to Diaz, but maybe, there's somewhere else in the team that I should be looking at improving. And just for reference points, I do have 0.2 million in the bank. So there's not loads of flexibility. But if you see something and you say, hey, you should consider this, pop it in the comments. And, I appreciate that sort of discussion around FPL. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Good luck in this game week. Hopefully you've enjoyed a bit of, time off from the Premier League and you're ready to get back in for Game Week 4. And I will see you in the next one.